Hi.
Hey,
So what's going on here?
so my sister, his daughter, has been missing for 5 days now.
Okay.
I've seen a boatload of flies behind the shed, and when I pulled things out, we have these bags.
Smells like death in there.
Don't make me think she's there. Don't tell me she's there.
For 20-year-old Kevin Mareska, the discovery of a human remains bundled in plastic sacks within his family's shed marked the beginning of an ordeal that would alter the course of his life.
That doesn't look normal. Let's grab a mask.
I've been employed with Clinton Township Police for 18 years. This one will stand out in my mind as being more gruesome, if not than any one I've ever seen.
The disturbing motive behind this horrific discovery was about to surface, unraveling a deeply buried and sinister family secret.
Because if that's her in my shed, I'm done, son. I'd rather not involve somebody that doesn't need to be involved.
You realize we're talking about possibly dead people here, right?
The chain of events was set in motion on the afternoon of August 26, 2018, as a chilling 911 call reporting a gruesome find.
911, where is your
Hello?
emergency?
Hi, I need someone to come to my house immediately.
Okay, what's going on over there?
Well, my sister's been missing for 4 or 5 days. Her and her boyfriend, and we just found 2 bags in the shed, and there's flies all. I think they're in the shed in a bag, okay? And I'm just scared to open it.
Okay, we don't want you to touch anything, okay? Because if it is something like
No,
that, there's going to be evidence,
we
okay?
We stopped.
Okay,
We stopped.
you said there's
We tried.
how many bags in that shed?
There's like 5 bags, but these 2 are the ones with flies all over them. Okay? Can you just get someone here to check, please?
Yep, we're getting everyone on the way. What's your name?
Kevin Marzeka. Get over here, please.
Arriving at Redgate address in Clinton, Michigan, law enforcement officers were unaware that the emergency call had only scratched the surface of the nightmare they were about to enter.
Hi.
Hey,
So what's going on here?
The first individuals they encountered were Kevin Marzeka and his father, Robert Sr.
My sister, his daughter, has been missing for 5 days now.
Okay.
I did a walk around the house to check if there's any trails or anything suspicious. I've seen a boatload of flies behind the shed, and when I pulled things out, we have these bags
Smells like death in there.
filled with flies, and they don't look good.
I can't even open it.
What makes you think that she's there? What makes you think something happened to her?
Don't make me think she's there. Don't tell me she's there.
For 3 days, Kevin's sister Danielle Marzeka and her partner Sarin Bryan had been missing. As Kevin and Robert Sr. searched for them, a foul odor from the backyard shed grew from a minor annoyance into a terrible stench. When Robert Sr. couldn't locate his key, he asked Kevin to bring the spare. What they saw inside was more terrifying than they could have ever prepared for.
See what we got first, and yeah, I mean we don't even know what we have. That doesn't look normal. Let's grab a mask.
There should be 2 in there, right? And let's do this. You want to do booties?
Yes. Just in case. I got seniority. I'll do like.
The shed's interior was cluttered with mattresses and bags, but their focus was drawn to 2 large fly-covered sacks in a corner, emitting a powerful bad odor. When an officer peered through a tear in one of the sacks, he was met with the shocking sight of a pale, veined leg and a bloody hand.
Oh yeah, dude. We don't have to cut. We're confirmed. We're confirmed. Confirmed.
It's confirmed. Yes, it is. It is. Get everybody out here.
Recognizing the shed was likely a disposal site and not the primary crime scene, the officers knew their work had just begun. They resolved to search the main residence, suspecting that incriminating evidence might be hidden within the house itself.
Please tell me it's not my girl.
Police!
I peeled off to the left and we started searching and just started going room by room, checking everything.
They examined the home thoroughly, checking every drawer and surface, but found everything to be in its proper place, almost unnaturally tidy. With the house search complete, they initiated a double homicide investigation and refocused on the bodies to understand the brutal nature of the crime.
Okay, I'm gonna start tape.
Here, I got tape right here.
I'll tie it here and then we'll get the front. Sound good?
Yeah. Here, give me some light.
Yeah, you got a doozy here today. You haven't even opened that second bag, yeah. So we don't know. And it looks that each bag looks like it would be one body.
I watched as both bodies were removed from the bags, and I saw that both bodies had been duct taped. Their hands were bound together, their feet were bound together. They also had duct tape around their mouths or over their nose, and they also had bags put over their head and then duct taped around those bags around their neck.
What made the scene particularly gruesome were the clear indications of suffocation. Duct tape was wound tightly around the victims' heads, which were then sealed within 5 layers of plastic shopping and contractor bags, leaving no possibility of breathing. The state of decay was so advanced that immediate identification of the bodies was impossible. As officers carefully opened one of the bags, they discovered several blood-saturated items, including a small bloodied mallet. Given the severe head trauma on the victims, they instantly flagged it as the probable murder weapon. The horror continued as they found a roll of blood-drenched duct tape and soaked bed sheets, evidently used to wrap the bodies before they were moved to the shed. This was clearly a well-orchestrated murder.
I've been employed with Clinton Township Police for 18 years. This one will stand out in my mind as being more gruesome, if not than any one I've ever seen.
News of the discovery had spread, and a crowd of concerned friends and relatives gathered outside. Inside, police worked to assemble the puzzle of what happened to Danielle and Sarin. As each new piece of evidence only amplified their dread, to gain more context, officers decided to interview a colleague who was friends with both victims.
How old is she?
18. Her and her boyfriend, Sarin, who's 19, are both missing.
Danielle and Sarin were both employees at National Coney Island. On the evening of August 23rd, the last time they were seen, they worked a late shift. A co-worker gave them their usual ride home. The following day, something felt wrong when she sent several texts to Danielle and for the first time ever received no response. This was highly out of character for Danielle, who, like many young adults, was rarely without her phone. The real panic set in on August 24th, when neither Danielle nor Sarin reported for their shifts.
They both work with me. I dropped them off after work on Thursday morning. They've been missing since Thursday at 8 a.m. That's when I dropped them off. That's the last time they were seen.
Where'd you drop them off?
Here, at their house, after work.
That was the last time you saw them?
That's the last time anyone saw them.
Danielle's family also grew concerned by her absence. By August 25th, with no contact and no way to locate them, Robert Sr. decided to file a missing persons report. It wasn't until the next day, August 26th, that a deeper horror took root when he pinpointed the source of the strange, decomposing odor near the shed.
So we were looking for the key. We couldn't find the key. One of the keys is missing. So we found the spare, and there was a bag covered in flies. It smelled like death, and we were trying to figure out what was in it. So her dad and brother cut it open and pulled the plastic apart, and then both screamed and freaked out and ran to the shed.
Later that evening, officers spoke again with Robert Sr. to collect more details, but they immediately sensed that something about his demeanor was profoundly off.
It's kind of rough, isn't it, man?
They're really gonna know.
Yeah, not for a little while. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they got it.
Don't want to be my daughter.
I know, I get it.
When your shed, it was locked, right?
Yeah.
You and Kevin locked, right?
Yep.
Whose key did you use?
Mine.
So at this point in the investigation, we had a shed that was not broken into. Someone used a key to get into that shed. We had what appeared to be 2 bodies stuffed in bags in that shed. We had a couple different stories on whose key was used. And at that point, we were trying to figure out whose story was true, who we could believe and who we couldn't.
Despite the late hour, the investigation pressed on. Kevin and Robert Sr. were brought to the Clinton police station at 11:57 p.m. for formal interviews.
Just gonna wait here until detectives get here, okay? No problem.
Throughout his questioning, Kevin remained fully cooperative.
What's your name? Kevin. Kevin, Joe Burns. I'm a detective here. Yeah, quit. How's Sarin's relationship been with Danielle? I mean, they get along?
I mean, from what I was told from her friends,
okay,
that her boyfriend would never hurt her. So I figured if, she got hurt, he was with her,
So just so I can get this straight in my head, because I'm not that smart.
Yeah.
Living there at that time, so within the last week, I had you living there, your dad,
yeah,
Sarin,
yeah,
Danielle. Was there anybody else?
My brother.
Okay, and what's your brother's name?
Robert.
Okay.
During this interview, for the first time since the 911 call, the name of another brother, Robert Jr., was mentioned. It struck detectives as peculiar. In such a family crisis, why was Robert Jr. bizarrely absent?
Were you trying to communicate with him that night?
I tried on Facebook Messenger.
Okay, but you didn't try to.
And, well, the thing is, I could tell, he caught, drift of what's going on, and he pretty much said he's shutting his phone off. I gotta go charge my phone, and then he never came back online.
Right.
So I didn't bother trying to call, trying to text. If he's not coming back online, he's obviously knows what's going on at that point.
At this stage, their suspicion began to move around Robert Jr., who also resided in the family's mobile home. However, before proceeding, they needed to understand more about Robert Sr. and his odd behavior.
What about your dad? How's your dad?
Always a drunk,
okay,
and we lost my mom in 2011, and he's never really been the same, Well, he's always drank. Before, he used to take pain pills, too.
Right.
And the mix of the both always made it.
Okay.
He just blatantly was no reason. 3 kids, we've been on our own pretty much since,
What does he do?
He paints.
Okay.
Yep.
So has he been painting at all?
Yep.
Okay. So he's been going out to work, but you said he's drinking quite a bit?
Kevin disclosed that his father's personality could shift dramatically after drinking, but the deeper they probed, the more convoluted and disturbing the family dynamics appeared.
All I do is worry about her. And now, the end is near. And so I face the final curtain.
For you?
Yeah.
Why for you?
Because if that's her in my shed, I'm done, son.
Robert Sr. seemed to become entangled in his own conflicting accounts. He had initially stated that he opened the shed with his personal key, but his story began to wrap into something far more suspicious.
And you don't remember whose key you used to get in there?
You know what? My key wasn't on the shelf.
Right.
I remember that.
Now you
What
remember.
it always is.
Now you remembered after I told you that.
What?
Because the whole day you were telling me that it was your key you were using.
Because that's what I always use. All right?
And then when I told you that...
Listen, well, believe me, I haven't slept in days.
Okay, well, I get
Listen.
that.
Listen. I remember it because I went up on the shelf where I have the house keys, and it wasn't there. So I said, my key's not there. And I checked my pockets, because sometimes I have it. No, it wasn't there. because we had to break the damn lock to get in.
Right.
While he was undoubtedly a person of interest, investigators remained intensely curious about Robert Jr.
Where is Robert staying at right now?
I have no clue.
You said Robert was with you when you went to work on Thursday?
Yeah.
Did he pick you up, or did you go pick him up, or how did it work?
No, he picked me up. He dropped me off.
Okay. So he picked you up in the morning, dropped you off at 5:30.
Yep.
So you were with him the whole day.
Yes.
I'm trying to put pieces together because we want to talk to Robert so that we can get his story too. You know.
I'd rather not involve somebody that doesn't need to be involved.
You realize we're talking about possibly dead people here, right?
Strangely, Robert Sr. appeared determined to shield his son, Robert Jr., which only deepened the investigators' suspicions. Why was he providing cover for him? What was the nature of their relationship? Were they concealing a shared dark secret about the killings? Without sufficient evidence to detain them, both men were released, leaving the night shrouded in mystery. The following day, August 27th, the autopsy results arrived, confirming that both victims died from asphyxiation and blunt force trauma to the head, consistent with the bloody mallet. The most tragic confirmation came with the formal identification of the bodies as Danielle Mareska and Sarin Bryan.
My sister Danielle was a very beautiful soul. I mean, she was very unique and very creative. She loved the odd things in life. She didn't go for your basic, girly things that they all love, whether it's, flowers and whatnot. I mean, she loved spiders and bees and odd things like that, things that didn't get the normal attention. And a lot of her pictures, she would kind of put her head up and just her arms open and kind of embrace the world.
Sarin was a very kind person. He was sensitive to how others felt and wanted people to be comfortable and happy. He liked to draw and create art. He had sketch journals. Sometimes he shared them, and asking questions about them, I found out more about his day and how things were going.
Their genuine connection had brought them together. After dating for years, Sarin, who had lived in an hour and a half away with his mother, Diana Bryan, had moved in with Danielle's family. They all lived under one roof, never foreseeing that their shared future would be brutally cut short. As the murder news became public, theories swirled about motives and suspects. However, a few key details bothered investigators, suggesting a much darker truth was hiding in plain sight. There were no defensive wounds on the bodies, indicating neither Danielle nor Sarin had a chance to fight back. The critical question remained: how could two people be murdered, their bodies elaborately wrapped and moved to a locked shed without anyone in the home noticing? It seemed improbable, without the involvement of someone intimately familiar with the family or a member of the family itself. After piecing together the evidence, the investigators' first action was to secure a search warrant for the mobile home, unknowingly stepping into a house of horrors. At first glance, the residence seemed normal, but when they entered Danielle's room, the full picture began to emerge.
Looking around to your naked eye, it would look just like a bedroom. We use this stuff called Blue Star, so it reacts to where blood was. And the reason why we use that is because at this crime scene, someone had cleaned up. Someone had staged this bedroom to look like nothing happened in that room.
It was clear someone had invested significant time meticulously cleaning a massive amount of blood. The detective then proceeded to Robert Jr.'s room, where the scene became even more unsettling. His closet contained several blood-splattered items that appeared to have been hastily stashed in an effort to conceal evidence.
The evidence tech located a bunch of evidence, black duct tape that had blood on it and hair on it, sheets that had blood on it, towels that had blood on it, a lot of different things that looked like were used to clean up maybe a crime scene.
With blood evidence found throughout the residence, from rooms to doorknobs, investigators had a wealth of proof strongly implicating Robert Jr. in the murders of his sister and her boyfriend. With his whereabouts unknown, the investigation shifted into a manhunt.
If Robert Jr. is on the run, he could be pretty far away by now. We also discovered that their family van was now missing and no one knew where it was. So we're starting to realize that Robert Jr., if he is our suspect, could have fled in that van. At that point, things started to move a little bit quicker for us, and we had to move fast.
As investigators profiled Robert Jr., they learned he had a long history of severe mental health challenges. Following the death of his mother, Jill, in 2011, when he was just 17, he began experiencing auditory hallucinations and exhibiting strange behaviors. His condition got worse over time, resulting in several visits to the hospital. Despite diagnosis of bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and paranoia, Robert Jr. persistently refused his prescribed medication. Consequently, his mental state grew increasingly aggressive, characterized by paranoia and erratic speech. This information was deeply alarming, making his swift capture essential for public safety.
We got a search warrant for his cell phone records. I was looking at the 23rd, which was the last day that Sarin and Danielle's coworker saw them. Well, later that morning, early afternoon, I see Robert Jr. was calling a local cab company. And I followed up with that cab company to find out if they did show up to give him a ride.
It did not take the investigators long to locate the cab driver and bring him in for an interview.
So I spoke to your operator. I asked her about the 23rd. You recall going to pick up somebody at that at a trailer last Thursday?
Okay, I think I kind of do remember.
Can you tell me anything about that pickup on who it was or anything you recall?
Oh, I can't really remember. Dropped him off at Wendy's. Or I asked him, did you have a specific spot you want to be dropped off? And he said first, I think, at Walgreens and then at Wendy's. And I pulled right in and very first parking spot, he got out and paid me, and that's all I know.
Wasting no time, they proceeded to the Wendy's, which also functioned as a bus stop. Noticing comprehensive CCTV coverage, they requested the footage from August 23rd. Sure enough, Robert Jr. was visible on camera.
He's just acting like the normal guy that you might be standing behind in line at the counter.
What was most striking was his calm demeanor.
As if nothing had happened.
As if
There
nothing
wasn't
had
any trace of
happened.
blood on his clothes,
His clothes
and his
were
demeanor
clean,
made it hard to
and
believe
his behavior
he'd just been
gave
involved
no
in such a vicious
indication
crime.
that he had just
From the
committed
CCTV
a brutal
recordings,
crime.
they spotted him
The
boarding a
recordings
bus, and
showed
acting
him
quickly,
boarding a bus.
they obtained the bus number
Acting
and requested
swiftly,
the interior
detectives
CCTV
got
footage.
the bus number and
This
requested
footage
its
from August
interior
23rd
camera
painted
footage.
a completely
This
different
new
picture
evidence
from what Robert
directly
Sr. had told
contradicted
investigators.
Robert Sr.'s
Claim
claim
was
that
with
Robert
them all
Jr.
day at work
had been
across
with
town.
him at work
But now,
all day.
seeing him get on a bus,
It became
it
clear,
was clear that,
that
he
the
wasn't.
father was
This
deliberately
raised
covering for
serious
his
doubts
son,
about Robert Sr.'s
raising
involvement.
serious questions
It seemed
about
he was
his own
intentionally
potential
covering up for his son,
involvement
possibly
in the
knowing
crime
more about the
or its
murders than he was
aftermath.
letting on,
With
or
this new
perhaps
information,
hiding his own involvement.
investigators were confident
With new evidence,
Robert
the
Jr.
investigators were
was
certain
now
that Robert
a fugitive,
Jr. was on the run
likely
in his
traveling in his 1999
E250 van.
white Ford
Therefore, the Clinton police
E250 van.
reached out to the van's
The
previous
Clinton
owner
police
in order to track it
contacted the
down,
van's previous
explaining that
owner
the vehicle might
to
be
aid
connected to a
in
double
tracking the
homicide.
vehicle.
previous owner, when he had it put up for sale, had taken a bunch of pictures of the van. So I created a crime bulletin. We distributed that to other law enforcement agencies and to the media to get it out to the public.
While the days felt agonizingly long for the grieving families, investigators worked relentlessly. On the morning of August 29, 2018, at approximately 10:08 a.m., they got a call from an officer in Toledo, Ohio.
My thought process, I'm trying to think like Mr. Mareska. He's trying to blend in within the community. I used the homeless to help me. I needed them to pound the pavement for me.
Investigators soon received a vital tip from members of the local homeless community who had seen Robert Jr.'s white van parked near a grocery store. When police arrived, the van was abandoned, but its contents were still inside. Although Robert Jr. was gone, it was clear he had been there recently, providing a new starting point. Determined not to lose his trail, Toledo police began canvassing nearby businesses for security footage. After a long search, they had a breakthrough.
He's wearing a disguise, the blonde wig and sunglasses and the tan baseball cap. It looked so foolish. But he just stood out. He thought he was trying to blend in, but he actually stood out.
Robert Jr. was seen on camera entering a store to buy a phone, which he likely used to make a call before returning it for cash. He was then spotted at a gas station, purchasing food. His movements were cautious and calculated, designed to keep him mobile while staying off the grid.
He went there and purchased cigarettes and beverages and everything. But he was denied cigarettes because he didn't have identification. It's a challenge to me. It's like a cat and mouse game. He's trying to get away. My job is to catch him.
At this juncture, Robert Jr. could have easily vanished. However, a key realization kept the investigation alive. He had no close friends to help him. To flee Ohio, he would need new identification. Focusing their efforts on local train and bus stations, their hunch paid off. They spotted him on security footage at a bus station ticket counter, where he had purchased a ticket to Cincinnati under the alias Josh Bianca at 11:55 p.m. on August 28th. His estimated arrival was 3:45 p.m. the next day. This was the break they needed. They immediately alerted the U.S. Marshals in Cincinnati to begin surveillance and apprehend him on site.
We have many core missions, but one of them is fugitive apprehension. And we pretty much pride ourselves in working with local police departments. It's best to have U.S. Marshals because there's not anywhere we can't go. If we need to, in some cases, we can go outside the country as well. He had about a 6-hour head start on us, and we knew that he had definitely came to Cincinnati, so that was our breadcrumb at the time. So at that point in time, we started heading toward the Greyhound station there in Cincinnati.
Robert Jr. was proving to be an elusive target. Upon arriving in Cincinnati, he immediately went to the Greyhound station and asked an employee where he could buy a phone and where the nearest library was. He was clearly following a methodical escape plan. Acting on this intelligence, the U.S. Marshals deployed undercover agents to the Cincinnati Public Library. They knew they needed to proceed with extreme caution. If Robert Jr. sensed a trap, he would flee. As he moved through the library lobby, the marshals briefed the security guard, showing him a photo and warning him not to approach the dangerous subject. Soon after, Robert Jr., disguised in a blonde wig and a hat, entered an elevator as officers watched. When he returned to the lobby, they moved in, with weapons drawn. They surrounded a completely stunned Robert Jr., whose time as a fugitive was over. He was arrested on the spot.
So the marshals had their man, but that was not the end of my job. I had to continue with the investigation. Robert Jr. was transported up to the Clinton Township Police Department. Once he's up here, I got word that he wanted to talk to me, which surprised me. I didn't know that he would talk.
On August 29, 2018, the authorities finally had their prime suspect in custody. Their next priority was securing a confession. Employing a careful, patient strategy, investigators worked to build rapport with Robert Jr., hoping he would believe they were there to help him.
Basically what happened was unimaginable, you know, and it happened to your sister, which is awful, okay? But a lot of times there's reasons why things happen, and whether those reasons are understandable or not, I'm just here to hear you out, okay? So, what did you have to say to us? Did something happen that set you off, or what happened? Well, my first question is, what is my charge? I can show it to you, okay? Okay, so normally, you got 2 counts. This is actually the charge document here. 2 counts of homicide, murder in the first degree. What is that? Premeditated. What is premeditated? I mean, you plan to do it. And if that's not the case, you tell me. You're looking at the worst charge possible. Okay? Killing 2 people. Alright? But nobody can understand why this happened.
Robert Jr. appeared detached and showed little inclination to discuss the murders or grasp the gravity of his actions. However, when he asked to call his brother Kevin, investigators saw a potential opening, hoping it might lead to a full confession.
Hello? Hello? Hey. So, are you gonna make this case go easier, bro? I don't know. What do you mean? Are you guys okay in the house? Like, we're not living there anymore, Rob. There's blood everywhere. So, are you pleading guilty to everything? No, I'm not. Why? I can't really talk about it on the phone, but...
Their hopes were dashed when Robert Jr. declared his intention to plead not guilty, a move that frustrated investigators. A confession was crucial for conviction, and its absence complicated their case. Nevertheless, they were confident they had the right person and proceeded to arrest and charge Robert Jr. with the murders of his sister Danielle and her boyfriend Sarin.
Sarin and Danielle returned home at 8 in the morning from working all night and go to bed. Robert Sr. and Robert Jr. were going to go paint that day. Robert Jr. was nowhere to be found. He wasn't in his bedroom. He wasn't there. So I believe Robert Sr. left to go to work. And then Robert Jr. then returned home at some point that morning. And something bad happened in Sarin and Danielle's bedroom. But I believe that they were bludgeoned to the head and knocked out right away. And probably right then is when Robert Jr. taped them up so they couldn't move.
While nothing could reverse the tragic events of that night, Sarin's mother, Diana, addressed the man responsible for her son's death during the trial, her emotions pouring out in a powerful statement.
I first met Sarin on March 23rd, 1998. I saw his heart beating during an ultrasound that day. He's been in my heart and thoughts every day since. My hope was that he would grow up to be a kind, thoughtful person who loved himself and others. And I'm very thankful that I saw him become that man. This is the man now known as one of 2 bodies found in trash bags in a shed. Each day, I struggle to not let his final day affect me more than that day I first saw his heart beating. I say to myself, sometimes out loud. You cannot keep Sarin in that day. You can't keep him in pain. Sarin isn't there anymore.
After a painful 6-day trial, the jury reached a decision on November 23rd, 2019. It took them only 40 minutes to find Robert Mareska Jr. guilty on 2 counts of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. While the verdict could not erase the family's profound loss, it provided a measure of justice and closure.
As much as my brother's done, I don't hate him. He's where he deserves to be. You know, he's where he belongs. I don't forgive him, and I don't think I ever will, but I don't hate him, and I definitely don't love him either. He's just not my brother. He's just some stranger that murdered my sister and her boyfriend and is in prison for the rest of his life.
Changing who I am because of the offender is a disservice to Sarin and to Danielle. No matter what you go through, you can choose if it's going to change you for the worse or the better. Sarin's with me every day. He's in my heart.
What are your conclusions about this case? Was this tragedy solely the result of mental illness, or was a darker element at play? Could Robert Sr. have also been involved? Share your comments with us, and be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Until then, please stay safe.